Hello, everyone. I am Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, and I am surrounded by 20 woke college kids. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
I'm Maddox. How are you
Nice to
doing?
meet you. Good.
So, college is a scam.
Well, let's define our terms. College being traditional four-year college.
Of course.
University, not community college or technical college.
Of course.
A scam, if we can agree on a definition, is where a majority of people who will go through the institution or business, they're not getting their money's worth, their time's worth, and they're being deceived when they sign up. So do we agree on those terms?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Well, what would further definitions, what do you think is the purpose of going to college?
The purpose of college should be a traditional liberal arts education, the pursuit of what is good, true, and beautiful.
Okay.
That's not what it is. It should be the betterment of yourself and your soul, nurturing your character and becoming a better citizen, understanding the deeper things in life. At the very least, though, it should be preparing one for the job market. Do you think college does those things?
I think it does, but I would add on to your point that I think not only is it for the betterment of yourself, but it's for the betterment of society. We need historians. We need certain majors that may not make as much money. I think those are for the betterment of society. Would you agree that there's some majors that may not make money, but are still essential to society?
It depends. Do you think that getting a degree in gender studies is good for society?
I would agree, yeah. Why would studying gender not be good for society?
Well, learning that men can give birth is not exactly a good use of time, is it?
Is that what they're teaching in college right
A lot
now?
of colleges, yeah. According to the Center for Disease Control, they no longer say women can give birth, they say birthing persons.
Okay.
Do you think men can give birth?
Do I think men can give birth? I think that...
Yes or no question?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they can give birth.
Assigned male at birth, so people are not male at birth?
I think that a person...
See, you're evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
College is a scam?
You're lacking in a lot of wisdom.
Well, here, we can continue right now. So, gender studies, do you think that studying gender is not essential? Should we not deepen our understanding
well, first of all,
of gender?
I don't think gender...
I'm confused.
We're going to get there later. I don't think gender exists. I
Okay.
think that there are two sexes, infinite personalities, and no genders. However, let's get back to the core contention.
Well, here, can I ask my question
Scam.
again real quick?
Well,
Why do you think...
I'm going to get back to my core contention. A
Okay.
scam. So the majority of kids that go to college, if they end up getting a job at all, they end up getting a job that does not require a college degree.
Do you think that certain jobs that may not associate with a direct major can incorporate skills that you learn from a major? I think I'm an econ major, and depending on what job I do in the future, I can still use the skills learned from that.
So tell me about Milton Friedman.
Tell me about Milton Friedman. He is an economist from...
How about Thomas Sowell?
Thomas Sowell.
Ludwig von Mises.
Ludwig. Well, I will say that I'm a first year.
How about
I'd love to see you answer the gender studies question.
we will get there later. That's what psychedelics are for. Who's next?
Well, I think it's difficult to think about just one major, thinking about just gender studies. Like, sure, like not everyone should be a gender studies major. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need everything. However, why does it matter if 10 people want to be a gender studies major and it matters to them? Like, not everyone can be a lawyer, not everyone can be a doctor. There needs to be some people, and you know what? Yeah, it sucks that some people do go to college and get a degree and then they end up not in a workforce for that. But I don't think that has to do with like college was a scam. It's more like maybe that just wasn't the path for them, or that life choice was just too hard to get for them. But some people are able to go to college and get a degree and use it, and that is super important, because imagine if no doctors went to college, they're just like, I think I can do it.
Well, of course,
like,
doctors and lawyers need credentialing, right? But
so college.
Well, less than 5% of all people that go to college end up studying medicine or in legal. The vast majority go into soft social sciences, communications, or the humanities. So you're in college, or have been, is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you forced to take classes that you think are a waste of time?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
you know what?
Hold on. So
Okay.
they're taking your money and they're forcing you that they're a waste of time. That's kind of scammy, right?
Oh, I think that some classes
Ooh, some. So you have to probably go in debt, right?
depends.
Okay. Are
On
you going?
what
Are you
college you
going
go
into?
to
Are you
and-
going into debt?
No,
Okay, well that's good.
I picked a school that actually offered me a scholarship.
Oh,
and
so
I
someone
picked a
else is
school
paying
that
for your
was good.
college.
Oh, I don't know. Depends on me. I mean, that was
No, I'm
a
sorry,
school
that's
that
fine.
wanted to give me an opportunity. But that's not what we're talking about.
Well,
we're talking
it is. No,
about
we're talking about the scam element, right? So you said
Right.
that there are some classes that if students had to go into debt or had to pay for,
Right.
would not be a good use of their time. So it's not representing students well.
Well, do you think like high school is a scam then? Because I had to pay
Some-
for high
well-
school, but I'm not going to use AP US history in my psychology degree ever.
Well, I think AP US history is actually a really good use of time, knowing about your country and your history. And
Well, but I'm not going to use
Jefferson,
that
Madison.
in my career. That's
Well,
what we're
you
talking
use it
about in
your-
the career
in your
path
life.
for
Well,
college.
let's
the
go back to
career
what I
path.
said, right? We said traditional college. right?
Okay.
Four-year college. And what a scam is, or a majority of the
Right.
people that will go through the enterprise, the business, or the institution are not getting their time worth or their money worth. So therefore, I go back to my core contention,
Okay.
which is a majority of kids that exit college will not use their degree at all when they go to find a job.
But if you ask them, do you think college was a scam? I don't think majority of them are going to say yes. Some of them will. Some of them are
Well,
going to
not
be.
everyone who's being scammed actively knows they're being scammed. People
it's
still
not-
buy erectile dysfunction drugs off the internet and they get scammed.
Okay, that's their own, like, personal choice, though.
Of course people have choices to be scammed. I'm not saying they don't have a choice. I'm making an observation analysis of the institution. For example, flying Spirit Airlines, kind of a scam.
Okay.
Should be shut down. There is some, yeah, kind of agree. There are some things in life we have to take a step back and like, oh, the consumer is not
But
being well served.
you want to
And
shut down a bunch of majors
I'm not
in
shutting- I've
colleges
never
that
said
you
that.
think are scams?
No, I never said that.
So what would your proposal be to
There's-
fix the scam
There
of
is no-
college?
There is no proposal. I'm simply, the contention is college is a scam
So then what's the point of that statement?
to get you to agree.
But like, what would that do? Like, what do you want to fix in college
no,
that's going to help it not be a scam?
We can get to step interval 2 as long as you can agree that college is a scam.
No, because not for everyone. For me,
Well,
I'm
but a
using a
majority-
degree that's going to help people make better.
What are
help
you studying?
Psychology and criminal justice.
Okay, so, and it's being paid for by somebody else, which is fine, that's good. So psychology and criminal justice, do you absolutely need to get a degree to be able to get into
Yes.
this? You do?
Yeah, I mean, like, I could, I guess, study it all on my own, but it's just like makes more sense to go and have all these experiences. I'm getting like wonderful experiences, internships all through my college.
So the
that's
only
helping
people that
me
get
go through
internships
it. No,
go to
it's
college?
just that this is a pathway that's really helping me.
So you know there's 11 million jobs open in the country right now that don't require a college degree? Do
Okay,
you
then
think-
the people
let me
who
ask you a
want those
question.
jobs can go get those jobs.
Do
I
you
am not
think
one of
we
those
push
people.
too many kids into college?
No.
Okay, so the national graduation rate is 59%. If I asked the room, everyone would agree that they know some people that went to college that did not graduate,
Yeah.
right? So we're probably sending too many kids into this institution.
But if they might have been able to do it, then like, why is it not worth it to try and
Well,
to
because
push yourself to get a better
they might-
education and
well,
go further
leaving
in
with
your
debt's
life?
a bad thing, right?
But some people are able to work through that, and it's like
Of course,
an
some people are.
opportunity thing.
But
It's
when
like
an institution is multi-trillion dollars in scale, involves 23 million of our citizens every 4 years, and is not actually bettering the country. For example, if college was so great, we would see incomes going up for Gen Z and millennials. We'd see more people able to own homes.
Okay.
Kids wouldn't. I'm telling you, this is so ableist what you're doing, by the way. I'm telling you, right? Hello, what's your name?
Alize.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so let me start by saying, well, first of all, you said we're sending too many kids to college. Who's sending them? Who's forcing them?
Guidance counselors, parents, community.
Are they forcing them? Are they
Well,
signing them up
Hold on,
themselves?
forcing, I never said forcing, but you can have nudging and
Okay.
forcing are two different things. We also subsidize college through the federal government. So you guys get subsidized interest rates,
Right.
scholarships, and loans. So the taxpayer is nudging students and gently and sometimes forcefully pushing them into college. And you would agree it is an expectation if you grow up in a upper middle class home to go to college. You would agree with that. So
I-
there's a societal cultural push.
I didn't grow up in an upper middle class, so.
Okay, well, but would you see it from there? Would you see how that argument is correct?
I guess there might be a pressure, but no one's sending them. You're sending yourself.
Well, of course.
Or we're
it's-
all over the age of 18, right? To be
Right,
in-
but
when you're in college, so you're
let's-
sending yourself.
Right.
But that's besides the
But
point.
let's
That's
be
a different
honest.
point.
I mean, that's a silly argument. Yes, they're technically sending themselves. I was just at Arizona State University move-in. Everyone had their parents there. They were co-signing on loans. They were there helping pay for stuff. Parents, the ones that are still checking in. They're the ones that largely subsidize their lifestyle. Hey, mom, can you Venmo me $3,000 that I can go out on an extra night? Yes, of course, when you're 18 years old, you're the one signing on the dotted line. But there's enormous pressure and nudging and cultural expectation that students go to college.
Right. Okay. I think the problem here is that it's up to the person. You can't just go to college and expect to come out with a degree. You have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. You have to make connections. And some people might think college is just 4 years of partying and drinking and making friends, whatever. But you have to actually put the work in. And if you put the work in, you make connections, and you can find a job right outside of college.
Well, no, not doubting that you can't find a job. It's just that 52% of them get a job that doesn't require them to get the degree.
But most jobs offer incentive pay if you have a degree. And
But then if
86%
that's the case, then
86% of
if-
people
if-
with a
if
degree
that is
get
true-
paid more than people with
Well,
just a
hold
high
on.
school diploma.
That's only if you count the ones at the top 10% of income earners. So not if you count humanities, not if you count people that study in the social sciences. If you count medicine or you count law, that's absolutely correct. However, the vast majority of kids that go to college are not studying medicine, law, engineering. business, finance, they're studying communications, social sciences, or humanities, which are on the lower income ladder. So as I mentioned, we have 11 million job openings in this country right now that do not require a college degree. I'm guessing in this room that within 4 to 5 years, you guys would kill to be able to earn $80 to $100,000 a year, yes? Do you know that in states across the country and in cities, they're offering apprenticeships to become plumbers and welders, electricians? That doesn't require for your college degree. Entrance salary, $80,000 a year.
But again, 86% of people with a bachelor's degree earn more than people with a high school diploma. No, 86% of all people with a bachelor's degree.
But if you take out the top 10%, it's actually lower than those that don't go to college. So the reason that number, that average goes up is because the doctors and the engineers and the lawyers are the ones that bring that average so significantly up. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that there's any waste at all in the current college model?
Do I think there's any waste? I don't think we need all of it.
Okay, good. What part?
Well, you have to start with your core classes. And it's like high school. You're taking the same classes in high school.
So do you think, like, for example, do you think that... It's okay. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
I'm Emily. Nice to meet you.
Emily. Thank you.
Earlier said that about 5% of college students are going into fields of like medicine, law, and engineering,
Let me clarify.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
As far as they are going to be able to get postgraduate degrees. So they will go all the way up and get their Juris Master, or they will end up passing the bar or becoming a doctor, right?
Okay.
So it's easy to say doctors, lawyers, but healthcare professionals, if you count nurses or people that work in healthcare, that number is closer to 20-25%.
Okay, so 5%. Who here has a doctor? Can you like raise your hand if you have a doctor?
Like a medical
A doctor, yeah. Like a medical
yes, I do,
doctor.
yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay. 5% is still a lot of people, right?
Of course, but
Yeah.
that means 95% might not need to exist at the institution.
I don't think that's the takeaway. Just because 5%, which is still millions of Americans
Wait,
all
hold on a
across the
second.
board.
But if you were to say, hey, we only have medical schools, only have legal, we can get rid
Oh,
of gender
no.
studies, get
Yeah.
rid of... So what's the contention?
Well, gender studies is actually, if you look on like the pre-law track, gender studies is a pre-law track. If
Got
you're
it.
going to be a lawyer, you have to study gender studies and other social
That proves
cultural
my
studies.
point that college is a scam.
Why?
Why would a lawyer need to study gender studies? Shouldn't a lawyer
it's
know
a-
the law?
It's a social science. The law, you think the law isn't inadvertently affected by social, cultural, and gender norms?
Of course it is, but shouldn't they first know the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Federalist Papers?
We learned that in high
Marbury?
school.
Okay, so what is Marbury versus Madison?
I haven't been in high school for a really long time. I'm not trying to be a lawyer.
You learned it.
Yeah.
So
high schools are like,
was
it's
Brown,
public high
What was
school.
Brown versus the Board of Education?
That's for desegregating schools.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which Project 2025 wants to like defund the
Right.
Department of
So who
Education.
wrote the
So
Consti-
like
who wrote the Constitution?
founding fathers, 1778. I don't know.
It wasn't 1778.
I don't know.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know?
No.
Okay. Well, this is the point: is that you don't learn it in high school. You don't even learn it in undergraduate, and our law school is not learning it. So maybe.
Well, I'm not in law school.
No, the point is that you were saying they already learned it, and they don't. I don't want this to be a pop quiz or trivia. I didn't go to college, and I'm asking you very basic civic questions, and you're paying to go to college, and you can't answer them.